Hello and welcome to Affinity. One of the useful tools that we've got is if I go to Adjustments and Selective Colour here, this lets us tweak parts of the image, because if I take the drop down menu here, I can select colours here, so I can, for example, select yellows, and I can, so there's yellows in the grass here, and if I play this either way it's going to change those yellows. Problem is you need to have the RGB thinking in there, because this is actually a reverse red, green and blue. It also usefully separates out the tones, so I can lighten and darken those things. What I can do as well though is it separates out the whites, neutrals and blacks, which are really sort of like the lower tones, the mid-tones and high tones. And so if I take the whites here, then I can adjust this, and I can see I can make the whites lighter and darker, or I can add colour to it. But to do this I've got to understand how all this works and so on. So it would be useful if there was a shortcut to do this. And that's what I've done. I've written a whole bunch of macros to just put in a selective colour with presets in. And the presets I've used are based on the colour wheel and the 12 most common ones. So I got the primary red, green and blue, I got the secondary cyan, magenta and yellow, and then the tertiary colours as well. And those are the basis, and you go from there and you can adjust them from there, as we'll see. So it's called Dave's SC for Selective Colour Grading Tones. You can download it from the link below or the resources page. You can install it by going up to the hamburger up here and import macros, or drag and drop it onto the image. So when I open this up, what you see here is make whites red, whites orange and so on. And literally all you need to do is you click on that, and there the whites are red, orange, yellow, lime, green, spring green as well, cyan, teal and so on. So you can literally start from where you want to go. So let's start from orange there and say that's a bit on the bright side, so I can adjust it with these. These, by the way, is if I slide this up and down, nothing happens until I let go of the mouse. And there we go, so I can have to click it a bit at a time, so I can just find a nice just little tinting effect with that. I can also then use these three, and because it's red, green and blue is reversed, if I go left it's going to make it more red on that, so I can adjust it quite easily from here. And I can easily then click on one of these and change it, or I can click on apply and it puts in the selective colour layer there. And if I go to the reds and down to the whites here, and here you see this is how we've adjusted those sliders, but in an easy, quick way. So for example, I could say now let's put, go down to here, and there's blacks here, so I can say make blacks, let's say make blacks green, because it's going to put it into the darker areas here, so it's only applying to the darker areas. I can adjust the colour here, I can lighten this here a bit. The darkening is only going to work as far as the selective colour will let you do, so I can't, this is not going to make it darker. It works sometimes but not other times. So what I'm going to have to do here is apply this and then work on it from up here. So for example, I can just turn down the opacity, or I can say use something like a multiply, or say an overlay effect, and still use the opacity for the final control of it. What I can do as well is a third set down here, which are the greys, or the neutrals really, which is a broad range of midtones. And I can pick a colour here, so I can say let's make it all cyan, and big overlay here, obviously pretty bright, so I'll turn that down a bit, apply that, and then I'll just turn down the opacity of that. I could use a blend mode on that as well if I wanted to. But you can see there, from those three there, you've gone from here to here quite easily without playing with colours, just playing with tones. Just to show what happens with these as well, if I go to a gradient here from black to white, and I go up here to say make whites red, you can see there the range that you're going to get. So the whites are made very red, and as it fades off here, then it goes off to that. I can see the same with the blacks. If I say make blacks green, you can get the same effect here. It goes from green and fades in here. So I apply that, so I got 2 layers here. And to show you the neutrals, let's say make greys blue, and this is the one in the middle. Notice with this, by the way, that it does overlap. They don't just add up together, the neutrals, but what the neutrals do is they leave the blacks and they leave the whites alone, and they fade it in then to the middle. But that gives you the overall control. Very, very simple. It lets you color the tones very quickly and very easily with this free set of macros. That's it, and thank you very much for watching.